to Unsigned518. I am here with John, the lead guitarist of Take Steps. How's it going, man?
I'm doing all right. Just woke up, got myself some coffee.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's noon, but you're in a rock band. That's totally acceptable. But we just met literally 5 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. I always tell people I don't do any research and whatever, but I like to listen to the music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I looked up your band and listened to your tunes, including the most recent single, and I fucking dig it. So let's talk about the band, because I know you're like the lead guitarist, but you're also a founding member and one of the main songwriters. But I guess let's go back to the beginning of the band and kind of tell us how shit got rolling.
All right, so I've been playing music for, I'm 27, so pretty much since I graduated high school, I've been involved in some way or form in 518 since then. So I was in a couple bands, and where I was going to shows. Let me think. It's 2026 now. So
which is crazy to think.
In the spring of 2024, I got together with Kyle, who's my singer, and I had written a couple of just demos of songs that would end up being on the first EP, the self-titled, and that came about from I had just finished playing in another band, kind of wrapped up doing that, and then I was just kind of not sure what was next. One day I was on the treadmill at Planet Fitness, of all places, and I'm really into hardcore punk, and that was around the time I was starting to really, really dig into it, and I heard Have Heart for the first time, and The Things We Carry was the record, which is their second record, and the lyrics got me kind of emotional. Like, honestly, it was just like, I've never heard anything like this. Like, the way, the visceral emotion of it all, I'm not straight edge, but the whole message behind it, the whole attitude was just really resonated with me at the time. I was going through a lot, and the music was really inspiring too. And around the same time, I was also really getting into Comeback Kid as well. So with those influences in mind, I just kind of sat in my home studio and was just kind of shredding some stuff out. And I was like, this is pretty cool. And I got in contact with my friend Kyle, because Kyle has also been in groups. He's in a hip-hop group called Social Propaganda. He's in his own group called The Last Miller.
And I've had the Last Miller on the show.
Yeah, Kyle and Craig, you met them before?
Yeah.
So I saw a Social Propaganda show around that same time, maybe a couple months before, and Kyle just was letting off some like harsher vocals, just kind of as an aside. Like, it was nothing intentional, but in one of the songs, and I was like, the wheels started to turn in my head. I'm like, man, he's really good at that, and the energy he would bring on stage. And I was just like, all right, man. We'd known each other since middle school. Me and Craig and Kyle all went to Burnt Hills. My other guitarist Charlie also did, but he's a little bit younger than us. And so Kyle came over. I'm like, you want to just like throw something down on this? It's whatever. We weren't thinking it was going to be a band or anything. So we worked on the songs that would end up being Wide Awake and Back and Forth from the EP. And that was kind of the beginning of that. And then I brought Charlie in, who's the other guitar player. And Charlie has been doing music for a little bit now. They had a band called Bad Impressions, kind of like metallic hardcore, metalcore. And now they have a band called Federal Charge, which is their other band. And they're super into hardcore, immensely talented songwriter. And I was like, hey, do you want to originally play drums? And then the way that the lineup kind of shook out, ended up they were on guitar, which that's like their main thing. and then Craig, who is also in Social Propaganda and The Last Miller with Kyle, plays bass. And then our drummer now is his name is Dylan. He plays in a band called Torpedo Lane and Hidden Drive, like kind of like a math rock, post-hardcore, and screamo band, respectively.
Nice.
Also immensely talented. So I just happened to fall in with some people I've known for a long time. It's funny how it ended up like this. Like, here we are all these years later doing music together, and also just some immensely talented people like Dylan, who are like new in my life, relatively speaking. And that's kind of where things have fallen together. You know, we've been a band for about, I guess, officially like a little bit over a year. The first show we played was in January of 2025, opening for Halo Bite, Billy and Death to Fire at No Fun. So we've just kind of been cruising since then, you know, playing shows. We've gotten to open for some pretty cool bands, and we've made a lot of new friends, and it's been great.
And what's it like? You know, you said that everybody kind of writes songs, but like it was based on, the band was kind of started from song ideas that you had. So like, I guess what's the process of taking like your ideas, and then once you bring other musicians in, it's obviously going to change. And then you said that they write songs as well. Like, how does that dynamic work? Does like one person come up with an idea and everybody sees it to the end, or do you just take a piece from him, and make a song? Or?
So at the beginning, it was pretty much I was writing the music and Kyle was writing the lyrics. Since then, as you know, songs that are currently in development or that will be coming out, it's kind of a mix of things. There are some songs where I write everything. There's some songs where I write the music and Kyle writes the lyrics. There's some songs where Charlie writes the music and Kyle writes the lyrics. There's some songs where we all get into a room together. We really do like all the processes.
Wow. That's cool.
It just kind of depends on how things shake out. And it's interesting because if you look at everything objectively, you can kind of parse the stylistic differences that result in those different environments and how you cultivate songs like that. The energy, the vibe, the length of the songs, the parts too. It's like when we have all written collectively together, it's resulted in some pretty high energy stuff. You know, when it's me and the fellas and we're jamming out, it's like, oh, there tends to be some mosh parts involved. You know what I mean?
It's almost like because everybody's playing off each other, and like you almost want to like
feel it.
Yeah, take it up a notch. And then the person next to you takes it up a notch, and then you take it up a notch, and then Whereas like when you're writing solo, you know, it's just your thing,
and
that's cool.
It results. It just comes with different results, and I really think there's a lot of value in not pigeonholing the band to one way of songwriting. I have a lot of faith in my bandmates, and they're all immensely talented, and they can all and do carry entire musical projects and ideas on their own shoulders. Everyone in the band has at least one or two other bands.
Right.
So everyone is like super capable of taking a vision and then just nurturing it and taking it to its natural endpoint in a way that I think is like very artistically apt.
Right. So even if it's, you know, this person's part or that person's idea or song, like people like, it's almost like that saying, you know, whatever serves the song.
Exactly.
You know, it's like all egos are aside, all like, you know, I know you could probably do a great flourish and fill here, but it wouldn't serve the song type of thing. And it sounds like, you know, because that's when I think of fucking professional musicians anyway, I think of people that
know when to say no sometimes in the arrangement. It's funny, like I have this running joke where I will make a song and then there'll be a guitar solo in it, and then I always end up taking it out because I'm like, I'll be like, this is so cool. Bed. I'm gonna come back. I'm like, this does not need to be here.
Right.
Like, I'm having fun with this for sure, but this does not need to be here. Like,
right. And again, that's like a professional attitude. That's saying that doesn't serve the song. It's great, it's talented, but you know, it doesn't serve the song. And like
exactly. Once in a while, you know, it's fine. But most of the time it just doesn't seem to serve much of a purpose, at least in the context of the kind of music we make.
It'd be cool to take like all the stuff like that you've put together that you don't use and just make one separate project out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like just a completely different thing that's all fucking guitar solos.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, a lot of that energy is just kind of leftover adolescent, like, you know, I mean, we make, you know, punk hardcore and like pop punk ish, which is like, you know, that's all about songs. It's all about lyrics. I'm always trying to put Kyle forward as like, this is like what this means, right? Like it's vocals, lyrics, like let's not lose the plot here, because at the end of the day, like that's where the message comes from. But that being said, it's like my first real concert was like seeing Megadeth, right? Like I sometimes can get carried away with like what I'm writing.
I'm an old like punk rocker from the punk rocker time when punk rockers and metalheads were synonymous. You know what I mean? Where at the skate park it would be like Megadeth and Metallica and Descendants and NoFX and stuff. So like
which
nothing wrong with Megadeth.
Brings up something I did want to chat about too. Is like I think you and I have a lot of similar bands that we probably like.
Probably.
Because so the influences of the sonics of the band come a lot from melodic hardcore of that irk, obviously like Comeback Kid, Have Heart, even some more modern bands like Counterparts, and also the pop punk that was kind of in vogue while, you know, I was, you know, growing up, which would have been like relatively newer bands, I guess you could say, generally. Story So Far, The Wonder Years, Knuckle Puck, all that whole class of bands, like that's very much my era.
Yeah.
So
see,
that's
my
like,
era is like the great grandfathers of those bands.
But I want to get to this point is like another like hugely influential band on my songwriting and the vibe is Pulley.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like all those Epitaph bands, like Orange County stuff.
Look, A Steam-Driven Engine is like in one of my top 20 albums of all times, and a lot of people don't know who Pulley are, and
they're so good.
Yeah, they're fucking
that's
great.
what I'm saying. It's like I'll be like, gosh, I love this band. Like,
and did you know about the lead singer's double life?
Oh, he's like a baseball star.
He's a minor league baseball player,
or
he's a coach now, but he was a minor league baseball player. While he was doing Pulley. Yeah, that band is fucking great.
Yeah, they're
super underrated.
Yeah, that whole like era of I also oh my god, I am a massive fan of the Souls, like the Bouncing Souls.
Yeah.
Like
10-foot pole.
Yeah, that whole like that melodic like Southern California sound is like really that's very much influential on the kind of approach I have to writing the brighter, more quote unquote accessible edge of our sound, because to me I like that it still has a lot of attitude and like it feels rough around the edges, but the energy is high and it can be like, you know, it's something that's very like uplifting, and
the songs are fucking good.
Yeah,
you know,
for real.
And there's very few bands, not very few, but like there's less bands that can pull off the just good fucking songs where like it doesn't matter what album you pick. You could, you know, they've been making albums for 30-something years. You could pick any song off of any album and be like, yeah, that's a great song. You know?
And it's something where, again, the pop punk that I tend to be more attracted to is stuff that is generally either has a more direct line to hardcore, like a band like The Story So Far, or even Newfound Glory, to cite an older example, or those Epitaph bands that have like a direct line to like Descendants or Descendants or Ramones. Some like there's great pop punk bands that lean more pop. That's cool. I love those bands, but like as far as what influences me and gets me inspired to like put that energy into my own music, that's kind of where I'm at.
That's great. And I love the wearing your influences on your sleeve, because there's a lot of people that, you know, don't fully admit their influences or don't want to get compared to anybody else. And I'm always someone that's like, I mean, I'm wearing, you know, NoFX and Descendants are my two favorite bands and have been for, I don't know, fucking 40 years. Like,
great
you know,
bands,
like,
dude.
But like, I would never, like, if someone was like, oh, yeah, that bass line sounds like Fat Mike, I would never be like, oh, hell no. I'd be like, well, yeah, because I've been emulating that dude for, you know.
I mean, like, when if you listen to some of the music, it's definitely will be more prevalent on the record,
Right.
the full length when it comes out. But I'm putting DeLongs all over that. You know, the like double like no fifth in the power chord. With the fifth is muted,
yeah.
so it's just like sliding around.
The
Just,
open-
I literally will be writing songs and I'll be like, Charlie, we got to put a DeLong there.
Yeah,
and
and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with being like, I take it's just like you're a fucking cook or chef in a
Exactly.
kitchen. You take a little bit of that. You don't need brand fucking new ingredients every time you make a dish. You know, you got your salt and pepper and your, and Tom DeLonge is like your Italian seasoning.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it's just, but I mean that style, that little, way of playing chords like that is become so just ubiquitous with the style that it's like, I mean, can you even call that copying anyways?
Right. But it opens up, just like I'm also a huge Deftones fan. And back in the early 90s, like when their first and second album came out is when I discovered drop D tuning.
Yeah.
And, it's all started by trying to learn Deftones riffs. They're
sure.
actually in drop C, those fuckers. But, like,
Yeah.
it unlocked something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It makes you think and like use a different part of your brain.
Absolutely. And like it unlocked a million, and I barely even use drop D anymore, but like I still remember just that feeling of being like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I just discovered a lot of shit,
Yeah,
with one.
totally different vibe.
Yeah,
I mean, there are. I mean, if you ask, between me, Craig, and Charlie, like the Blink self-titled is like just this omnipresent, like always stealing from that, like all the time.
I was just listening to One More Time, the album.
Oh yeah,
like, this
that's
morning.
the newest one, right?
Yeah, and it's fucking great.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff on there for sure.
Yeah, it's not all like actually, I do like every song, but there's some songs that I'm like,
Yeah.
this is really fucking great.
Yeah, no, there are definitely some awesome songs on there too. So Blink-182 is a massive influence, and it's I guess on more of like a macro scale. It's like we're pulling from hardcore bands, these pop punk bands, but I kind of joke that it's like I'm really just like reaching for the Blink bin and the Metallica bin. You know
but
what
you're
I mean?
still creating your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not copying anything. You're creating your thing with a couple of spices that people laid before you.
Yeah.
So I think we should hear a tune from Take Steps now. What we were going to play with the latest single, then we're going to dig a little deeper into the catalog. But there is more new music coming.
Yes.
Very soon. But what are we going to play now?
Well, the latest single that just came out on February 13th is called "Everybody That Loves You Now I Know," and it's dedicated to my good friend Abe's, and it's just about getting better. It's about moving on and looking forward, and it's kind of the message of the band is trying to create art that makes people uplifted in a way to make things better, and recorded at Pacemaker Audio by Tyler Krupski.
Oh, nice.
Shout
Nice.
out.
Well, cool. Let's check out Everybody Loves You Now I Know, Take Steps, and then we'll be right back to talk some more with John.
Stuck inside this box we've known so well, and I'm hoping this would be the last. Your love feels like rain on my skin, and I'll dance in your love for as long as I love the love. Just give me my rainy days.
That was Everybody That Loves You, Now I Know, Take Steps. Did I get that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kept fucking up the title. But so we want to talk about, you have an EP out. You have that single that we just listened to that just came out, as we're recording this, less than a week ago, right?
Yeah,
just
around,
something like that, a couple days ago, whatever, as we're recording. But so it's out, is what I'm saying. But there's also more music coming that you're working on, right?
Yes, there is.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
So we have a full-length record coming out on March 20th called Fighting Chance. And we've been working on it for the better part of about half a year now. And it's more of a realized vision of all of us involved rather than just the EP was kind of, some songs that me and Kyle worked together on. We really, poured over this process and these songs. It's a mix of, different members, influences, different, this person wrote this. It's a nice mix of all of our influences and, multiple songwriters. And it is a pretty good snapshot of what we think we are kind of capable of sonically. I'd like to say it's a pretty diverse sounding album. It goes to more intense than we've been on the EP, and then much softer than we've ever been on any recorded material as well. And I'm super excited for people to hear it.
And is that, because you were saying it was a collaborative and this was kind of the first realization of the full songs, was it, or how much did it play into the song order?
Sequencing?
Yeah.
That's something we really care a lot about, especially me and Charlie we went over sequencing for the album a lot. Because we want it to feel, the album format. Right. We want it to really feel and breathe and have peaks and troughs in the right places. So a lot of thought went into kind of bringing things in with a lot of energy and allowing things to kind of balance out between different points, kind of hopefully keep people on their toes. And keep them excited to keep listening, with kind of the order allowing for the styles and the influence and intensity to shift as we go from track to track.
Yeah, and I've always been an album person, and I love the dynamic. It's almost like in binge watching terms, it's each song is an episode, but each album is a season. It has to fit together. It has to take you from point A to point B. And I don't know, so I was just kind of wondering, with all the different members adding their parts and creating the different songs, were there certain, you said you got slower than, or quieter than you have. Was that a certain band member's influence that brought it to that quiet place, and was it a certain member's influence, or was it more the group dynamic that brought it to the more aggressive and higher points?
So the most aggressive and all out that we got on the record is very much influenced by the group setting.
Right.
Like I was kind of saying earlier, I'd say the biggest song that also is probably the most intense, or maybe second most intense sonically on the record, is a total group like project. And on the other end of the spectrum, the softest song on the album was something that like Kyle and I wrote together in like a very small, quiet, it was like a late night thing. So a perfect example of like how the environment influences like the attitudes of the song.
Right. And was it like an acoustic guitar type of, acoustic guitar and a notepad type of?
Yeah,
type of thing?
it was very much, like kind of like old school,
Right.
Just kind of, writing some lyrics, throwing a guitar part down and just doing it that way. And then as opposed to going into the room with the band and, with the...
And I mean, I do that too. I mean, I play bass and like even like bass lines and shit, I usually just write them on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And then,
nice.
because
Cool.
it's easier to... I don't know. It's easier to move around, and I could just grab it and sit on my fucking couch, and
Yeah.
that rather than come in here and shake the house.
Yeah,
Like, good thing we don't have super close neighbors because it gets loud as fuck in here for sure. But yeah, so you've got the out, and you said full length. Like how many songs on there?
10.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
Mixing and mastering, you said, was done by Tyler.
Yeah. So Tyler is mixing it, and then Nick Caven, who runs Resolve Recording in Albany and plays drums in Millington, is our mastering engineer.
I fucking love Millington.
Oh, nice.
Great
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
Great band. I'm a huge fan of those guys. And they're also super cool with allowing me to play their music on the Weekend Spotlight, because every time I reach out to them, I'm like, hey, is it cool if I play your new song? They always respond almost instantly.
They're having a moment right now.
Yeah.
Are you seeing they got like
crushing
sold out Japan
Yeah,
tour, Warp
yeah.
Tour, like
Dudes are fucking crushing
Love
it,
to
man.
see
And
it.
again, they respond to like messages within like a minute or two, and they're like, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
play
they're
my
great
shit.
guys.
And if you're not familiar with Millington, fucking check them out because they're crushing it. But yeah, so 10-song album coming out March 20th. You've got the single out, and the single, single. Then the other EP was what, 5 songs?
The
6
first EP is it's like it's technically 4 songs, but it's really just 3 songs and an intro track.
Oh,
But,
gotcha.
Yeah, 4 songs.
Nice, and those are available like as we speak. So, and let's hear. We're not going to hear anything off the new album, but as you're listening to this, it's coming out soon. So be on the fucking lookout for it. It's coming out. You can listen to the first EP and the single, and then what are we going to hear off the first EP now?
So the song is called Wide Awake. It's kind of just like a high energy banger. A favorite to play at our shows for sure.
All right, cool. Well, let's check out Wide Awake, Take Steps, and then we'll be right back to wrap it up.
These shadows will not leave here. Subconsciously they stand. No time for me to catch up to them. No room for me to land. Oh, what a waste of love. Guess you taught lessons, had your plan. So you chose to take a soul. Same day, put flowers in my hands. The sheets you laid your back.
That was Wide Awake, Take Steps. And John, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come all the way up here and do this. And it was a really cool conversation, and I'm still just so fucking thrilled that you mentioned Pulley. Whenever I'm like, oh yeah, one of my everybody's like, who the fuck is Pulley? So check out Pulley. But before we go, like I do with all my guests, I just want to give you a chance to say your gratitudes.
Oh man, where do I start? Well, I guess I want to shout out Albany Hardcore, because they're just like the backbone of everything that we do. Shout out the guys who laid the footwork, Dying Breed, One King Down, Stigmata, a million others. But I also want to shout out some modern bands as well, who are our peers. Guys, if you're listening, I'm sorry if I forget you, but Gratitude, Flat Wounds, Halo Bite, Spirit Killer, Sunblock, other DIY bands, Senior Living, Everybody That Loves You, songs named after them, great friends of mine. I feel so blessed and privileged to be a part of Albany music right now, because like I said, there's so many good bands that I can't remember everybody to say thank you to. It's something really special. And there's a lot of great bands that also have projects coming out this year. And I can't say anything, and I don't have anybody's permission, but all I will say is, like, keep your eye on Albany music this year. There's a lot of amazing records that are going to come out of a lot of amazing bands.
All right, well, he is John Lombardi of Take Steps. I am Andy Scullin. This is Unsigned518. I'll see you on the road. Unsigned518 is produced and hosted by me, Andy Scullin. New episodes are available every week wherever you stream podcasts. If you would like to help support the show, please like and subscribe wherever you are listening, or you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/unsigned518. If you would like to advertise on the show, send me an email at unsigned518@gmail.com. And to be a guest on the show, reach out to me through Instagram at unsigned518. Take care of one another, and I'll see you next week.